The path is your own journey.
Right.
The initiate has to go on its own journey. And you can't take nothing with you. And you at the goddamn crossroads. And the crossroads is, are you ready to go to the next level?
Yeah.
Because guess what? I can't take you to the next level. Right? You got to make that decision.
All right, so let's talk about this kill culture that we live in. Because I'm really trying to understand, when did the value of life decrease so much? And we hearing it in the music, we seeing it in the videos, just constant killing. And I'm not here for the kumbaya moment of, oh, we need to overcome, we need to unite and figure out some way to protest this shit. I'm not here for that. Cause we understand one thing: you ain't changing shit until you change yourself. Period. As cliche as that might be, it's true. Those that know all real truths is really cliche. They very simple. So we living in a kill culture, a culture that don't value life. Literally. To the point where we got albums and soundtrack after soundtrack and album after album about murder, about premeditated killing, right? And this definitely, first and foremost, go for the government. Let's not leave them out. And I'm talking about the government most people see, and I'm talking about that other real government behind them that pull all the strings and shit like that. Like I said, I'm not here for the kumbaya moment. I'm not here to make everybody hold hands and no shit like that. I'm just here to bring awareness to, first and foremost, ourselves and the world we live in, what's going on around us. Because I come from the era before the internet, and I know a lot of people from my era want to cut out the kids. They don't want to try to get no understanding of them. And they miss the point that it's all a connection and it's never really no separation unless you allow it to be. These people that's younger than you and shit like that, and they into the drill music and all that kind of stuff, you gotta understand they influence just as you've been influenced, just in a different stage, a different phase of the influence. But the influence been going on for years. And the target always been the youth. Because how do you change a whole generation? How do you erase a whole generation? You catch the kids slipping. You keep the parents busy. You keep them scrounging and scraping for rent money and stuff like that, and trying to bling or whatever the case may be, trying to be rappers and artists and live out dreams that might not even suit them, right? You do that to them. You keep the grandparents sedated with all type of pharmaceuticals. And the kids, you keep their mind occupied with things that rot their mind. Things that are the opposite of expansion. Because that's the nature of the universe. Expansion. So when you're in opposition of expansion, then you dysfunctional. And that's cool. I never hate on no spirit. So when we talk about the government, we talk about agendas and shit like that. They just feeding their own agenda. And I'm not just taking shots just at the government. It's just like a mentality more than anything. It's a mentality more than anything. And when you buy into this mentality, you start to devalue life. Because we got so many gadgets and shit like that. We got so many things to hold on to and grab and keep our attention and keep us stimulated and numb. That's what I realized. I realized down here in this realm that we call Earth, that we call 3D, it's a lot of things to keep you distracted, keep you on a certain frequency, and snatch you and put you on an algorithm. I was just watching a video.
Do you know which country made TikTok? China. Do you know that China controls the algorithm of what you see? Do you know this? If you're in America and you open up TikTok, if you're in Britain and you open up TikTok, there is a specific algorithm to reach you that is not in China. If you're in China and you open up TikTok, what the Chinese government wants you to receive as youth, as people using TikTok, are people who are doing good things, achievements, youth making social enterprise, youth becoming successful in math competitions, youth becoming masters of karate, youth doing something with their life, and you are rewarded. That algorithm is that the Chinese government makes you see positive things for social development. Did you know here and in the United States, China, send you a different algorithm? Do you know what they send you? All the nonsense that you see. They want you to see girls dancing, boys and girls dancing with each other, pranks upon your parents, pranks upon people. How many pranks do you see? Yeah, I'm not saying it's not funny. Some of them are downright hilarious. But if you want to destroy a nation, destroy a generation, you make them in their mind be rewarded with the dopamine for thinking stupid things are good, thinking that this is what you're supposed to grow up doing. A large proportion of people grow up thinking that this is what life is about. But in China, they don't let their children think that. Next time you open up TikTok or Instagram or whatever, and you see this, understand that you are being played.
And as you can see in the video, he talking about how China on a different algorithm. So they kids is seeing people advance. They kids is seeing they predecessors advance. They're not looking at poverty. They're not looking at a whole bunch of TikTok. They making TikTok. They creating an algorithm for TikTok. They creating a illusion for you. So I'm always trying to remind us that we at war at all times, because our function is our function. Our purpose is our purpose. We are who we are. And it's very much a benefit to be in a business of getting an understanding of who you are, being able to accept who you are, so that you can see the value in life too. Because you know we're living in a gang culture, and there's really no rules to it. But I don't look at the appearance of things. I look at the results, right? And how it affect myself and others in the world that we live in, and how it's going to affect the next generation, how it's affecting the generation that we live in now. And what people fail to realize is we dealing with people, not just kids. Because I got to rewind. When I say children, I'm talking about a mentality of ignorance. And not ignorance in a way just you ignorant because you want to be ignorant. Sometimes you're ignorant just because you just don't know. Lack of knowledge. Like they say in the Bible, my people perish for lack of knowledge. So when you constantly got a bunch of information stuffed in your face, a bunch of cool celebrities, constantly got trends and challenges and all that shit going on, right? When you constantly got that as a child or as an adult, a lot of times we want to be down with the culture. We want to be cool. We want to be informed. We want to be in tune. We don't feel like we still hip as adults. And then children, they want to be down. They want a group to belong to, because that's what the world's selling them. That you need to belong somewhere. You need to find your space. You need to fit in. You need to find a group. Gang. But once we start getting how precious life is confused with what we seeing on the algorithm, then that's when the lines get blurred. That's when you get a bunch of people doing a lot of fake shit but yielding real results and consequences that they're not prepared to handle, that are not well thought out. It's just monkey see, monkey do. So we live in a culture that has become a culture that has accepted all ignorance. This is just some real shit. It accepted all ignorance. Like I said, we get a culture that accepts all ignorance. And it's, like I said, it's different layers to ignorance. There's not having access to knowledge, so you ignorant in that way. So the books, the information is not accessible to you. Or like China doing, it's being kept away from you, so it's an energy and an agenda to keep you uninformed. Then there's people that see the information and just don't want to carry the burden of responsibility of what comes with and after seeing that information. And then, you just got people that just want to have fun and they just want to live and they just want to kind of go with the flow. And the thing about it is the flow is now a strong algorithm that will quickly place you on a specific timeline. And we know on this channel, we just trying to always get and remain on the timeline that we supposed to be on. And how do we remain on that timeline, and how do we know we're on that timeline? Because we just being true to our own spirit. We're being true to our own heart. We accepting more of ourselves. We becoming okay with who we are. That's the mission every day, right? And from there, you just guide it. From your own intuition and your own subconscious mind speaking to you. That's ultimately where we're trying to get to, where we feel all right with who we are, where we at, what we doing. It don't feel foreign to us. We don't feel separate. Now, when you're living in a culture that aims to keep you uninformed and spend a whole lot of money to make ignorant things seem cool. And when I say ignorant things, don't get it fucked up. Like me personally, I indulge in a lot of what's out there. I'm constantly, making sure I'm in the know of what's going on all dimensions. Like I was just watching a bunch of videos about the little young rapper Quando Rondo. I know a lot of y'all might know him. If you don't, he's just one of those drill rappers that actually been getting into stuff. A lot of people around him getting hurt, killed and shit like that. He beefing with a lot of rappers and stuff like that. And now he at a point in his life where somebody close to him got murdered in the same car next to him. And now he wants to retire from his gang and stuff like that. So we looking at a person that jumped into something that he wasn't ready for. Jumped into something because he thought it was cool. He might have thought it was protection. He might have thought it was family. But he was under the impression that you're supposed to find a space in this world and jump into it and be down and find an identity and hide behind something. And I listen to the youth though. I listen to them talk. I be trying to see where they coming from. Because I know they coming from the steps that my generation made. So let's say if you 40, 30 years old, 50 years old, this generation's behind you, 60 years old, 70 years old, you're never too young for knowledge. You're never too old or young for wisdom and shit like that. So understand it's always going to be an ancestor. It's always going to be a predecessor. It's always going to be a youth coming behind you. You feel me? And their mentality gonna be shaped depending on how well your generation participated in some form of ascension into who we actually are and into the real world, which is the spiritual world. So I see that because a lot of these people, and I'm not even saying just the youth, like I said, adults, everything, we just living in a world where 90% of the world is just lack substance, lack any reason, lack any purpose. So a lot of missions that they be on, it be a dummy mission. So you start affiliating yourself in a gang, knowing that you come from a church space, knowing that you come from grandma and stuff like that. You start to exchange your identity for a new identity. You start to take on the mentality that life is not valuable, that life is like, and it do go and come. It do go and come. You see it all around you. We all, like I always say, we living in between life and we living in between death simultaneously. But your gift that you got is you got time. Whatever time you granted, you got time to live as yourself, though. And, we just got to understand this, because we at war, we have to understand the fact that there is a force out here that is pushing for you to be ignorant. So you need just as much pushback to be knowledgeable. It's a force out here that want to keep you devaluing life so that you don't even value your own, and you definitely not going to value another. So now you're just killing for no reason. Nobody can't talk to you. I'm starting to learn that. Like, I thought I was hard-headed, but I realized just how much I did listen. Because it was still a heavy value being put on just how precious life was. When you come from, like, I come from the trenches, so people was all seeing all my people die young. I seen them in caskets young. I've been to a lot of funerals. All I see is young people in the casket. And I identify with that, like, damn, is that gonna be me soon? You feel me? Like, I got a 12-year-old son now. He 12 years old. I just hollered at him like, yo, you see, because he like to try to listen to the Quando Rondos and the NBA Young Boys and the Little Dirks and stuff like that. You think I'm going to have a child that's 12 years old and I'm not going to know what the fuck going on in that world? You think I'm about to be oblivious to that? Yeah, I could be a superhero to my child, but that influence is out there. I check his playlist. That's what he got. He got Pooh Shiesty and Quando Rondo and Lil Durk and all that shit. I got to be able to combat that and try to also come with some understanding. So I just talk to my son. I tell him, like, you see your boy Quando Rondo just denounced his whole gang and he don't want to be down no more because it's getting too real, because he losing people and stuff like that. And show him the importance of betting on yourself and just being you, flaws and all, with your own imperfections, so you don't fall victim to that. And we all fall victim to some degree, but it's about making it back to the side of yourself. And that's what a lot of people don't talk about when they talk about self-love and self-acceptance and self-worth and stuff like that. They don't get into how real it is out here from an algorithm point of view. We gotta understand, we gonna do what we constantly see. We're gonna say what we constantly hear. We're gonna be who we constantly around, what we constantly indulge in. That's just the nature of life. So the gift in life is the present in life is to be the ability to be present, so that you're not so influenced. The present in life is the ability to gain the knowledge to understand that, oh, it is a force out here. Some people don't know it's a force out here that's controlling them. They just like chess pieces, checker pieces at this point. Because it's all fun and games until it happened close to home, until it happened to you. You know what I mean? And this is on every level. So I don't want to miss it on the lower levels to where how the world want to look at it. They look at the gutter and the ghetto and they look at it like, oh, it ain't no brilliance there. It ain't no light over there and shit like that. A lot of these kids is brilliant. They just don't have nobody that want to understand them. They need somebody that ain't gonna say, turn that bullshit ass music off. Try to bop with them and listen to it with them. You living in their era. And you know, for the youth, it's a day-to-day for them. I feel like this kill culture that we live in is under the most heavy, microscopic, surgical algorithm and influence that they could be. Like we didn't allow like these people, these scientists, all of the people that run the world, all of the billionaires, all of the people that are able to fund their idea so that the world is kind of shaped how they want it to be. I'm just talking about life just on a real day-to-day level. I don't, and it's always spiritual. So it's always going to go back to how much substance do you have on the inside to keep you grounded so that you could be able to weather these storms of influence. I know a lot of y'all artists and musicians and stuff like that, so it's a lot of things that could stray you away from being yourself. So we got a kill culture of children. And even though some of them are at the age of adults, 30, 40 years old, they still children in the mind. People that don't understand, once this shit is over, it's over. You don't make killing into a game. You don't make being a follower into a game. You don't just be lazy and let somebody make all the decisions for you because they so-called experts. You make sure you know what's going on yourself. You see for yourself. You get insight for yourself because it's not going to resonate with you until you digest it for yourself. But we living in a culture now that the digestion is microwave. It's quick. It's fast food, it's drive-through, it's I gotta go, it's Uber Eats, it's DoorDash, it's Grubhub. You can now sit in your house and just be killed slowly. We're talking about kill culture here. You could be just killed slowly. By just burger after burger, pill after pill, drink after drink, all this, just allow yourself to sit and not having no wherewithal to even understand what you in. That's the worst type of ignorance. You don't even get to live live out a life as yourself so you can understand what you actually going through. That's what I be looking at. I be like, damn, yeah, cool, they killing each other. Damn, that's wild. Like, okay, that's one thing. Then I'm looking at people killing their own dreams because they don't like build nothing. They don't build no ideas. Like people don't build no ideas no more. People just look at what's there, take the template, and then repeat. Copy, paste. Oh, this cool right now, let's do this. This out of style, let's move on to the next trend. So I'm like, damn, it ain't no life in the culture. And we all influenced by the culture in some type of way, especially here in America. And especially us that come from the tough side of town. And that don't have to be necessarily the hood. I mean, on a spiritual level, to where your spirit have to fight to have some individuality. As a spirit, you have to fight to have an identity. In the real way, though, in the real space. Not trying to just have an identity within the game itself. Like having a natural, organic identity. That takes time. And we living in a culture right now where it seems like, you know, we running out of time. People getting killed by the second. People making choices that don't even fit their spirit by the second. People saying, all right, I'll take that because it's there, it's easy. But you know, nobody want to take the chance to have to take a chance. You feel me? Nobody want to take a risk of trying their hardest, being themselves, showing up flaws and all imperfections and falling flat on their face while the whole world watch them try their best. Nobody want to take that chance. That's what everybody's scared of, even the killers. That's what everybody's scared of. Because for me, I respect people that move at their own rhythm, have their own reasons. So I could disagree with you, you know what I mean? But the fact if you in your own energy, I got to respect that. I got to just be like, okay, that's just not for me. But if you moving in your own energy for your own reason and that's really who you are, I respect it. It ain't no right or wrongs. I always hope for myself, and I hope for my friends and other people that I know, and just people in the world, period. I hope that we live long enough to see how stupid we were in the past. You feel me? But it's hard to watch, and it's hard to be a part of it, but it's hard to watch when you see, like, it's kind of like how they say, you know, when a frog is in water, and the water's starting to boil or whatever, they don't even know they being boiled because they already in the water since it was just at room temperature. So as it heat up, it just seemed normal. And by the time they could even try to think, they have been led to slaughter. So we got a culture that's being led to slaughter to their own demise by them and through them. Just by participating in a lot of energy that go unchecked. A lot of people ending up in the so-called wrong place, wrong time. And you're going to always be in the wrong place at the wrong time if you're not aware that you're here to learn more about you. But like I said, there is an algorithm. And that algorithm is very strong. It's strong enough to have people do things that's irreversible in their life by confiding in people they don't know, ideas that they're not familiar with, places they've never been, people they've never fucking met. I think I might have said that already. But especially people they've never met, because we look on the internet and everybody's looking and peering into each other fantasy land. Live in a culture that people ain't really understanding, like, yo, that person that you like in a picture, that picture that they picked to go on their Instagram, it's like 122 more that same type of picture that they took. We so insecure now. We so afraid to be ourselves, so we gotta take 100 pictures just to get one. Because it gotta be as best it could be. It gotta be as perfect as it could be. But I come from an era where you take one, you get 1 or 2 pictures and they come right out the camera right then and there. That's it. That's the moment. So we killed the moment. When I'm talking about the kill culture, we killing the moment. And life is lived in the moment. So, you know, people out here killing each other, rapping about it, singing about it, laughing about it. People out here, you know, we going and coming, we doing what we want. It's a lot of things to find pleasure. It's a lot of things to get lost in. But at the end of the day, the common denominator that I'm seeing is we killing life itself. Just as a collective. I ain't talking about everybody, because I'm living my life more and more as myself every day, and that's all I encourage other people to do. You feel me? After you're done with the shenanigans of trying to figure out who try to be something you're not and all that, and you come back to your right mind, and you gonna come to the realization that you gotta just accept yourself right now in this moment, right? So this kill culture that I'm talking about is killing the moment. Whether it's TikTok, there's no more real dancing, you know what I mean? There's no more listening to a whole song, taking your time and living with a whole album and digesting it and making it the soundtrack of a certain season in your life. It's shit like cool shit like that. When we used to listen to the albums, rock out with it for a whole year, 2 years before we really even have a consensus on it. We gotta feel that shit in different moods. Now it's like you put an album out and now your album flop in one day. Everybody worry about the first week sales, and nobody's worried about if the album actually is dope, if the artwork is actually dope, if the movie actually dope. It's more about feed me more of what I want, feed me more of what I like. And that's what these computers doing. That's what this artificial intelligence is doing. You pick a video, they give you more of that. You listen to a song, they show you songs like this. Songs, you want more of that? You go through the drive-thru, you get a order of fries. Do you want a soda? You go to get a coffee. You sure you don't want a donut? It's always something suggesting that you go a little bit further, and this further that they pull you towards is always off your path. You just wanted fries. How did you wind up with the soda? Y'all was all supposed to just be friends. How y'all wind up just now y'all gotta be a gang? Now you don't have an identity. Shit like that, And I ain't knocking nobody, whoever, whatever level of consciousness you reside at, that's cool. Whatever floats your boat, if you like it, I love it. But I can't help but see, as a collective, as a culture, we misguided within ourselves. We got it away from ourselves. We got it away from trusting ourselves. So it's like, if you can't do that, then you pretty much assed out. So, we living, and remember, when I say we, I'm just talking about us as a whole. We living such a premeditated existence. Like, I be saying the fake shit. It be around me. It be, and when I find it inside myself, I do away with it. I learn from it and I do away with it. But I be picking up on the fake shit. It be a lot of premeditated things. Everybody want to make sure their speech is perfect. Everybody want to make sure they look the part. Nobody really too worried about being the part, though. Everybody want to look the part. So we got a lot of people using each other to maneuver each other so that it is a reflection of the algorithm and not a reflection of a person that living with themselves more, accepting of themselves more, ready to do the real work, ready to really get into it. You don't have to call it spirituality, but it is. Ready to fuck with the inner world, ready to fuck with the part of us that be really wanting to express itself. So we living in a world of appearances, and appearances go and come, just like life. It's one existence to the next. It's one moment to the next. But we so caught up in the appearance, we don't see what's behind it. We don't see what's up under the current and shit like that. And I be like, that's scary that the world moving in that direction. Because I can't imagine a generation after this, you know. And don't get it fucked up on a spiritual level. I know this is necessary. And I know this is controlled demolition. And I know this ain't just start. We just at the tail end of some shit that been going on for hundreds of years. So everybody got the feeling that they advancing, but ain't no advancements being made. You getting a new phone, you getting more technology. You're able to skip the moment and just do shit even more fast. Get from point A to point B fast, but miss the whole in between. Kill culture. Killing the moment. The stock of the moment then went down, so what the fuck is life? We living for pictures, we living for videos? You know what I mean? Like, what we doing? You know, I can't get through this without acknowledging those of us that turned that corner and are doing the hard work of just being an individual. It's so hard, ain't it? Ain't it so hard to be an individual? Every time you doing it and you trying and you being yourself, don't the world always got a problem with it? As soon as you want to be you, as soon as you want to fuck with yourself and love yourself, everybody get mad and shit. Because they can't use and abuse you no more. Because you're not on the algorithm they on no more. Whether, you know how it is, you could be cool with them, you okay with their decisions, you accept them as they are, but for some reason, you being you just a little bit too shiny. You just a little bit too content, so people don't like that shit. Misery really love company. Misery really love company. So it's funny, you know, if you don't got the newest shit, if you don't got the whatever is hot and trendy, then you're not in. Then you're not cool no more. And that even go down to the vaccines and shit. It's like, damn, people want to pressure you to do stuff like that because they done bought into the idea of a savior so much. Everybody want it so quick and so instant. Save me. Do it for me. It's forbidden that I actually got to put some work in. It's forbidden that I got to grow myself organically. That take moment to moment. That's a journey. That take time. Oh, hell no. So shout out to the ones that's actually doing it. It's tough. We become the weirdos. We become the weird ones. We become the outcasts and the black sheep or whatever you want to call it. But, you know, embrace that shit. Embrace it. Because, you know, at this point in time, it's like now or never. You either are you either working to embrace yourself and accept yourself, because there's so much power in the moment. There's so much power in being you. And when you okay with yourself, you in the moment. And that's where life at. That's where the party at. Everything happened in the moment. Why wouldn't you want to be there? But if you calling some death type energy on yourself, if you making enemies and shit like that, you killing the moment. You indulging in the kill culture. If you don't want to sit down and cultivate the ability to express your talent and shit like that, and you're going to just copy, paste, and do what somebody else going to do, yeah, you just killed all the moments that could have been real to make you who you are, and you just jumped the line and hurry up and, you know, got the appearance of being an individual because you're able to operate within the algorithm, but you're not able to be your own algorithm. You gotta be your own algorithm. You gotta be able to do your own thing, even when you're doing something similar as somebody else. A lot of people speak, a lot of people talk, a lot of people do podcasts, but I do my shit how I do it. That's something I had to grow into. That's something I had to become okay with, and it's a day-to-day process. It's a trillion other people out here talking. It's a trillion other people got something to say, got ideas and got advice and all this cool shit, you know? So do I go look and say, okay, I need to say this and make this kind of title so the algorithm accept me, and then I could get some fake ass form of accolade or form of success that's not even fucking real, because I've learned to stimulate the algorithm. I learned to manipulate the algorithm so that I get some feedback that say, oh, I'm doing something dope, I'm worth it. So yeah, it come at a price to live as yourself. It really do. It's like you got a bounty on your head almost, but you know, it come with the biggest reward of all. Like, it's like you beat the game when you yourself. You beat the game when you okay with you. You beat the game when you can see the algorithm don't fit you. And you got enough courage to stand up to the influence that's trying to stray you in a certain direction. And that's all I really be talking about. I feel like I say the same shit every time. Because it's really only one truth. You know what I mean? And you only going to experience that truth through yourself. And that's a journey. And that take moments. That take being present. So when we trying to move so fast, we cut the line and we empower the kill culture.